It's off and running, man. Let's go.
Welcome to Bet On It, Monday Night Football edition. I am Kelly Stewart. Before we get into this AFC West matchup, let's bring in the guys and see how their weekend was. Marco D'Angelo at Marco in Vegas. Joe Raineri at Joe Raineri, even though Twitter never lets me tag him on anything. Joe, you got to stop liking some of those conspiracy pages and maybe you won't get shadow banned. Marco, double deli sandwich, 2-0 this weekend. Thank you for putting me on to the Giants. That was another game. Well, that was the only game that was a bright spot for me on Sunday. Our best bet in the Saints. Not only was the dagger in losing the Saints plus 1.5. Yes, it closed at 3. Yes, we know that half the wide receiving core was out, but we didn't care. We thought the Saints were going to get a wire-to-wire winner. It's not what happened, Marco. Guess who had Jamar Chase on their fantasy team? Oh, that's right, Johnny Detroit, and that's who I'm now down 30 points to, headed into Monday Night Football. We'll see how that one ends up panning out for me, but it was just like an extra in my chest because, of course, Joe Burrow had to throw a 60-yard bomb to the one guy that Johnny had on his fantasy team.
Yes. Well, Kelly, I don't know if I can top your weekend, but yeah, the sandwich games have been absolutely on fire this year. Got 2 of those deli games home over the weekend. Yesterday, the Giants, and of course on Saturday, we had Iowa State. Best bet split. My barking dogs kind of had rabies this week. Tough game. I had Kansas City. Coin flip game. Could have went either way. Come up short there in the pros. And then, of course, on Saturday, another one come up short was Florida State. But all in all, I'll take it. We had a winning day Saturday for our clients. Small loss yesterday with the NFL action, but I'll take that. We did hit our top play for the day in the NFL. It's amazing. Twitter, if you lose the top play and win all your other plays, it doesn't count. But if you win your top play and lose the other ones, all of a sudden, it's like you can't have it both ways, trolls. Okay, one way or the other. Let's make a pact on what you want. But love this Monday night game tonight, Kelly, and people listen are getting a treat because this is actually a client play tonight, so you're getting it for free.
Love to hear that, Marco. Yeah, my only bright spot of yesterday, besides your Giants deli play, was that they were finally getting some of these teaser underdogs up over that touchdown, cashing for us. We really didn't need it with the Patriots, but the Jaguars got there amongst a couple of others. Not so much with the favorites in the Bucks and the Packers. Those were the 2 losses, but 4-2 hit some really nice teasers. Added Kansas City when it hit 2.5 to a couple other ones that I had open. So all in all, not a bad Sunday, but losing the Saints in that fashion just about did me in. Joe, how was your weekend? I'm sorry that I mushed your Oklahoma State Cowboys. Got really excited. I was really happy with Gundy there, even mid-third quarter. And, yeah, I owe you an apology publicly. I'm really sorry for that one.
Yeah, Kelly went public with her support of the mullet there, Gundy, about 5 minutes left, and boy, that shit the bed in a hurry. But we did cover, though, Kel, and that's all that matters. We ended up getting the cover, which was just as good. Our first half in Tennessee ended up getting it too with Alabama, so that streak continues to go. And I mean, listen, we got the RU high over the weekend as well with New England and Cleveland. Didn't understand that. Did shit the bed though with Arizona and Seattle. Who knew Arizona's offense couldn't score in the second half now as well? Shocker right now at that team, Cliff Kingsbury. You should fire yourself at this particular point.
He might be on the hot seat here very soon,
think?
Joe. But I will say this, the Seahawks in a teaser. I couldn't have like just put it on a nice little silver platter for myself any better. That was like literally the only action I had in that afternoon slate. It was nice not to have to sweat it. I'll be honest with you, because it was I was sitting in traffic with Grandma, who's a Saints fan. We had the phone up, watching the last couple minutes of the Saints game, and it took every bone in my body not to chuck my phone onto the interstate. So I feel your pain there with Cliff. I'm glad that I did not get involved in that one outside of the teaser, because, boy, that was ugly.
Congratulations, Marco, by the way, on you backing your Steelers yesterday, because I know you had them on the money line. I know you were rooting them home like I was rooting home my Jets. I mean, we didn't even go points. Who needs points? Just give us the money line. Way to go, Marco. I'm right there with you.
I'll tell you what, Joe. Is there anybody still surviving Survivor? I mean, anybody that was still alive.
300 and some odd people.
I think there's 43 that have the Chargers tonight, and I think maybe 300 people advance. Our good friend CT Betts, Adam Trigger of WagerTalk.com, they both did advance, so that's good news for them. I would have been out 3 times over by now, so it doesn't even matter.
I mean, I'm just glad. And lost anyway.
Yeah, I'm just glad that the Packers did me in last week, because then I didn't have to suffer this week.
Well, let's go. I'm ready for tonight's game. I'm ready.
Oh,
let's cash it.
Are you ready for tonight's game, Joe?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for the reverse line movement? This line has moved down a point. The whole world's on the Chargers. Who wants to back the Broncos? Not me. As a Broncos fan, this line has ticked down from 47.5 to 45, pretty much 4 across the board. Lone 4.5 at WinBet on the WagerTalk odds screen. I want nothing to do with this game. I text Ariel Epstein. She sent me a couple of plays from the prop side tonight. I text Andy Lang. He said, yeah, I'll text you my play. It's up for sale at WagerTalk.com. I'm about to sweep the weekend. What? Can't believe he did me dirty like that. Ariel is on the over 1.5 touchdowns for Russell Wilson and over 4.5 receptions for Cortland Sutton. But I don't know if I want to bet that either. I have to have 30 points from Justin Herbert for a few dimes against Johnny Detroit, and that's all I got to root home for here. This reverse line movement, while albeit seems like it's begging me to jump on the Broncos bandwagon, but I don't trust this team. Russell Wilson has yet to score an offensive touchdown this year. This defense has been their saving grace, and that's how I'm going to get screwed with this Herbert fantasy bet. Joe, since you were so eager to tell me how much you loved this game, you get to go first.
Well, that's fine, Cal, because a winner is a winner. It doesn't really make a damn bit of difference. And the winner tonight is going to be the Denver Broncos. Now, I was able to hop on them early in the week when it was around 5.5. And like you said, this number just kept coming. 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4s now in the marketplace. And I think it's real simple. I think the regression to the middle is coming for the Denver Broncos. There is absolutely no way they can be this inept in the red zone the rest of the way through. They've had some unlucky breaks along the way, but they are a much better team than the market thinks they are, and certainly the way they priced them early on. Not to mention, we're talking about Russell Wilson, and although he hasn't been great, and we all know that, he is still, I think the number's 18-6-1 against the number as an underdog of 3 or more points. He has thrived in this spot before. I think the Chargers' offensive line in trouble right now. They got a backup that's going to have to go against Chubb. Good luck with that. Let me know how that goes. The defense also got healthier in the secondary with Denver. Simmons is back. They're all-pro safety, so any sort of illusions that Herbert's just going to drop back and have all the time in the world to beat him deep, not going to happen here. I think Denver and Russell Wilson, they put it together. I think they have more luck inside the red zone here tonight when they get there. And I'll take as many points as you want to give me because ultimately we're sprinkling a little something on the money line as well. Denver wins this game tonight, Cal.
Until they get out coached by Brandon Staley, who is just Anthony Lynn reincarnated. It is just, this is terrible. I don't want to lay points with the Chargers. And you know what, Marco? I don't want to take this under either. And I understand why everybody wants to bet the under. Of course, We've seen nothing from the Denver Broncos offensively. We've also seen nothing from them as far as an underdog this year. Those last 2 years, 0-5 against the spread. This is supposed to be a divisional dog matchup. These 5.5-point underdogs in the division, Marco, particularly have been extra juicy. Every sign is pointing for me to bet the Denver Broncos, yet I cannot do it. They cannot pass the eye test, and until I see that they are capable of winning a football game, I don't know if I can bet my hard-earned money on it. Based on what Joe was saying, I guess I just have to hope for a shootout now, because that's the only way I'm going to get Justin Herbert with this Broncos defense, who have only allowed 56 points all season long to opposing quarterbacks. They're the number 3 defense in the league right now. What do I do?
Well, Kelly, I'm going to try to nudge you over the finish line here, see if we can get you there. I'm going with the Denver Broncos. Joe and I are agreeing. Imagine that. That doesn't happen often. But we are agreeing on this one, and here's why. The knee-jerk reaction, as you said, nobody wants the Denver Broncos because they all remember what they saw last. And what they saw was a complete shit show last Thursday night between them and the Indianapolis Colts. It was a field goal fest, 12-9, and they were on the short end of the 12-9 score. Now, with that said, full disclosure, on last week's show, I took Jacksonville on a teaser. During the week, as that line kept coming down in Indianapolis, there were 1s and 1.5s out there. I ended up playing Indianapolis on the money line yesterday. You know, we talk about sometimes you play numbers, but the more I thought about it, I still didn't think they would get the separation, but I thought they would get the win, and here's why. Matt Ryan had 3 extra days to prepare. New quarterback with a new team takes time to get in sync. Well, those 3 extra days gave them time to work on some things, throw out some stuff that wasn't working, fine-tune what was, and maybe put a couple new wrinkles in. What happened yesterday for Matt Ryan? Well, he had his best game of the year. He went 42 of 58 and 389 yards, 3 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Why am I talking about Matt Ryan when we're talking about the Broncos and the Chargers? Because it's the same situation. You've got Russell Wilson, new team this year, struggling out of the gate, played on Thursday night in that game. He gets 4 extra days because it's the Monday night game. I think you're going to see the best performance out of Russell Wilson season to date. I love Ariel's prop with taking him over 1.5 touchdowns. I also like he hasn't run the football at all this year. I think he's going to tuck the ball and run a few times. I'm going to look for some rushing props on Russell Wilson. And I'm not a prop guy, Kelly, but I like those 2 props. They're going to have a good game. And why shouldn't they? The Chargers defense ranks 28th in the league at yards per play. They're allowing 6.3 yards per play. Denver, number 5, yards per play at 5.0. Big difference. You know me over the years. I tell you, you give me the better defense, give me points, I'm going to be there. And I know there's a big difference on the offense when you look at these 2 and the points scored. But honestly, it's been in that red zone, like Joe said. Denver moves the football. Chargers are number 10 yards per play offensively at 6.0. Denver's not that far behind. They're number 16 at 5.7. I'm going to take Denver plus the points in here, and I'm going to go the whole 9 yards and call for the outright upset. I'm taking Denver, 24-23. Russell Wilson, this is the 4th time he's been in prime time this year. He's tired of looking bad. All right? You're going to get his best
You know who
effort.
else is tired, Marco? Me.
it.
I'm a tired Broncos fan. I am so tired of this from this team.
If they don't
I got
do
you
it
guys.
tonight,
I knew this was going to be a sharp square game the moment this line came out. And sometimes it's okay to pass. That is what I'm going to do tonight. Because again, I need the amount of money I would put on this game would be like a half a unit. And the amount of money, which would be 3 units that I have bet against Johnny Detroit tonight, kind of sways my allegiance and where I actually need this game to go. I hope it is a shootout. I hope you guys cash. I hope it's a field goal game. You guys get to cash the points. And Justin Herbert throws 4 touchdown passes for me some way, somehow.
Love this.
Kelly, we're going to have to talk about that money management on your actual bets and your side bets with Johnny Detroit.
No. See, this is the thing. We have a $10,000 league, and I have at least double that in side bets throughout the year. That's how this works, Marco. You got to make it worth my while. If I have to care about fantasy, then it's got to be worth my while here. Otherwise, that's allegiance is bets over fantasy, but not anymore. Right now, I need a big game from Herbert, and I'm not sure he is going to get it. That being said, sounds like we're all pretty much in agreement that the Broncos is the sharp side tonight, as we've seen this reverse line movement, come in on this team. I just still don't know how I feel about it as a Broncos fan because, again, they got to right the ship, and maybe it is tonight. Maybe Marco's correct. We will find out from Joe, Marco, myself, our producer Dan, who's an Eagles fan. Congratulations on another W, buddy. Happy for him. And we'll see you guys Wednesday. Until then, let's bet on it.
Opening night of the NBA season is close. It's Tuesday, October 18th. Do you think the Golden State Warriors can repeat? To celebrate the start of the season, we are offering you a 7-day NBA package for only $49. Yes, that's only $7 a day, and it will be valid through Sunday, October 23rd at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. There is no limit to the number of handicappers that you can get. Just head to your favorite capper's homepage.